Where's the tree gonna sit, Christopher? Do it again. Well, hi, Christopher.
Hi.
And now it's all over. Mom's crying.
It was just after the adoption's finalized.
I was about 7 years old when my mom told me I was adopted. She said on April 15th of 1994, George Rivera, your birth father, and Luli Jones, your birth mother, were killed in a car accident. I was doing some homework and a Facebook message popped up on my computer from somebody I didn't know, and his name was Junior, and he asked if he could ask me something. And I said yes, and he said, "This is kind of hard, but I think we are related." While I was sitting there reading all these messages from Junior, another message came flying in from Christina La Cantante, and she said, "Hi, sweetheart. My name is Christina, your father's only full-blooded sister. Do you know how long I've been looking for you?" I didn't know why they were looking for me or how this all came up, and so I decided this was something I should look into.
Hello?
Hi, is this Christy?
Yes. Is this Jen?
Yeah, this is Jennifer.
How are you, sweetheart?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you? After talking with Christy, I didn't have the answers to all the questions that I thought I would have answers to. So Thursday, October 30th, I decided to give the attorney that Christy told me about a call. So this was the attorney that handled the custody case. And then I thought I better message Junior again, who had initially contacted me. So I thought, why don't I just meet this guy? Just tell me what you remember from the accident.
The brakes ended up failing on their car.
Oh, I wondered.
As they were coming to not a T intersection, they're just coming to an intersection.
The four-way, yeah.
And the four-way, and well, it was just time that a car was coming at the same time and hit him on the side and flipped the car and actually landed in a creek.
I asked about how the kids survived. I said, how did I survive? How did Siege survive? How did we get out of that car?
There was a person nearby that actually got in the car and pulled you guys out of the car.
Oh, I didn't know.
His name is somewhere in a paper, because I remember they recognized him for him doing that.
Yeah,
saving you guys and getting everybody out of the car. My brother, your mom.
You don't remember his name?
I don't. It's somewhere, and
okay.
I mean, I'm sure we can find it. And he might even be passed away because he was an older guy.
Okay. And in that moment, kind of a light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's a hero out there that I need to find. There's somebody out there that is the reason I am still alive today and the reason that I am looking into this, and I need to find him. I need to talk to him. So 2 days after I talked with Junior, it was Wednesday, November 5th, I left Des Moines to go to Muscatine. And I had some extra time because my meeting with attorney David Newell wasn't until 2. So I decided to stop at the Coralville Public Library to find the article about the hero that Junior told me about. And I actually got to look through microfilm, which was really cool. I'd never done that before. And it was old news articles, old headlines, and I looked at the day of the accident, the day before the accident, the day after the accident, and then a couple years later. This is crazy. Disappointed we didn't find any articles, but we did find obituaries that were a little different than the obituaries I already found, so that was good. Right now we're at the Muscatine County Jail, where I'm going to get the accident report that was filed, which will give me the information of the lady who hit our car and the man who pulled my brother, my sister, and I out of the car. We landed upside down. Guys, this is insane. They had the freaking report. All I could think was, oh my gosh, look at all this information. So much information, so many names, so many details. What cars we were driving, the time it happened, who was injured, who else was involved. Okay, right now we're going to meet Judge Newell, who's going to hand me the case file from my custody trial and the adoption hearing. So I'm really excited to read about how everything went down. But yeah, there's a possibility that my grandma, my birth dad's mother, might be here, and I'm extremely nervous for that.
I don't see these things happen every day, so I'm not sure what we're doing.
Hi,
This is Jennifer. This
I'm
is
Jennifer.
Maria.
These are my friends.
Okay.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Same here.
Okay, as I understand this, now, you guys haven't seen each other for
No,
20 years.
I've never, well, realistically, I've never met her.
a baby.
so-
Okay,
I was
yeah,
about
you were
3 months old, yeah.
2 or 3 months old when all
3
this
months. 3 months
started.
old, yeah. They were coming to see you too, weren't they?
They were coming to see me, yeah, that weekend when he.
What was there a failure on the car? Do you guys know how the
They
accident
say
happened?
the brake
That
brake-
was police said the brakes went out.
failures, yeah. See, because according to what they told me, because I didn't even went to see what the accident was because I was too hurt. They were coming. This is 38, and they were coming this way, and then when he tried to stop, he flashed the light, but evidently that woman they hit him. She couldn't see him, or she was going too fast, and then when he couldn't stop, so when he crossed them, was when she hit him, and then they went around and end up in the ditch. Well, all the guys were in the car. That somehow somebody witnessed jump and got you guys out. It was
Yeah.
you, brother, and that other girl,
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Elizabeth, yeah. But they couldn't do nothing for the mom and my son, because my son was still alive. That's what they told me, but they took him to Iowa City and then
He was helicopter
helicopter to Iowa
Yeah.
City, and they tried to survive him, but it was too much water in his brain, so.
She had answered the majority of my questions about, the fight after the accident about Siege and I, but I still walked away with some family questions I needed to answer, but that was not my number one priority. My number one priority was to find out how we survived, which is finding that hero.
Feels
Feels like I've known you guys my whole life.
It was nice to meet you guys.
That was crazy. They're just like me. Oh my god. Could you tell they were my relatives? When he walked into the room, I was like, holy me. So the next step was to go to the gravesite, and he was buried only 10 minutes from downtown Muscatine.
Last name is Rivera.
Yeah.
R-A-V-E-R-A.
Yeah.
So where are you from? Des Moines. Yeah, okay. Because I'm going to find out who, if anybody, is here in 386. Okay?
Hey.
Oh my god, this is it. I like that quote. To live in the hearts of those we love is never to die. It's a cool quote. I just felt bad. I never knew them. I know. It's they died and I didn't. It's weird. Why did I get to live? I should go find the crash site. Oh my god, this is it. Is this it? Oh, this is it. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Where can I park? Yeah, you know. Is that way? That's a huge drop. I have chills, and it's not because it's cold outside. I said that she landed in a ditch, not the river. We went in on our side and then flipped again, I think. Why does it say she ended up in the creek then? So did she land here? So we're looking at it, right? Like this. So she landed here. Young child, a toddler, and an infant were rescued. All three of us. How did we survive that? It's crazy. It's weird. It's an eerie feeling. And the sky is freaking me out. After a long day in Muscatine, I still had a ton of questions that were unanswered based on the police report. So I decided I was going to try and contact all the names that were on the police report. I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, okay, I've got plenty of time. I can do some research to find Sean Kerr. So I started Google searching, and I had a friend in the lab who was working with me and helping me, you know, try to hunt down names and hunt down numbers.
Captain Ryan.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Jones, and I was looking for an officer that signed a accident report in 1994. His name's Frank Draper, and wondered if you could help me out.
He used to be employed here and retired several years ago.
Okay, is there any possible way you could give me a contact number for him?
I can't release any information like that to you, but I could take your information and pass it along to him.
Dude, I'm calling the guy that saved my life. What do you say to someone who saved your life?
Thank you.
Like, I owe him my life. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Big snore on the bus loudly.
I'm shaking. Jesus Christ. Apparently they don't have a voicemail. I don't think it works. So I started to give up hope on that. So then I thought, well, I'm going to take a break, and my next move was to try and contact Sandra Peterson, the woman who hit us. I need a list of questions because I'm going to blank because I'm scared. I'll ask if she remember. Of course she's going to remember the car accident. Yeah. 2 people died.
You've reached the home of Sandy Peterson. They're unable to come to the phone right now, but if you leave your name and number, they'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Hi, Sandra. This is Jennifer Jones, and I just had a couple questions from you. I was involved in a car accident that involved you and another car, but it was in 1994, and I just wanted to ask you a couple questions and see if you remembered anything. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe she's still alive.
Oh my God, that's the same number. Woo, I'm like shaking. Oh my God. Do you think she'll call me back? I let it go, and I never heard anything back from her. I was really struggling to find Sean. Back tonight. Oh, hi. I'm looking for a phone number for a Sean S. Kerr in Moscow, Iowa. Yes, I really hope so. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Bye. So that was kind of a dead end. And I decided I needed to contact my half-sister, Elizabeth, who was also involved in the car accident and was 7 years old at the time.
The other thing that I know happened is there was a guy on the street that came and got us.
Yeah.
Do you have his
can't
name?
find him.
You can't find him.
I-
I think he was older, right?
But that's what everyone's telling
So
me.
I don't
but
know if he's still alive or what, but
I don't know because when we looked him up, it said he would be around 40.
oh,
But
right now, only
yeah,
40?
which means he would have been
Okay.
20 when this
So then
happened.
he's not an older guy.
No.
I always pictured an older guy that came and helped.
Do you remember anything?
I don't.
I can't
But
find
you
him.
can't find him?
No, but I've searched and searched and searched. I have a lead that I'm gonna call and see if it's him.
You know, Elizabeth was so young and she had so many memories with Luli and with George. And then there it was again. I just keep dwelling on the fact that I have to find this hero. And so as I'm sitting here and I'm listening to her talk and I look at Elizabeth at one moment and I just think, you poor person. Like I felt so bad because she was 7 years old and she had all these memories with her mom and my birth mom and then my dad, and then all of a sudden it's gone. We're at Oak Hill Cemetery where there was a tombstone made for my mother. I didn't know this, so Elizabeth has shown us the way. You normally just come by yourself?
Yeah. My dad used to take me when I was younger, but afterwards I just came by myself. I haven't been very good about coming here though. Just do a little something at my house or get her something, keep it at the house. Yeah. So I brought my son here once or twice, a couple times.
After Elizabeth left, we decided to go see my mom because she was back from vacation and it was finally time to ask her what she remembered from the accident.
They had ran the stop sign. This lady was coming this way, hit them. The car went across the road and down into where the water was on the other side and landed driver's side down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know why he ran the stop sign?
We don't know why.
I know, because this was never concluded.
Yeah. We don't know why. Your grandma Margaret said that she wondered if they were fighting because I guess they fought a lot.
Do you know where they were sitting in the car? Was she in the passenger seat or in the back seat?
She was in the back seat behind him.
Okay. None. Except the lady who hit us, who had nothing to do with this.
No, she was perfectly innocent in the whole thing, poor thing.
Oh. I called her and I left a voicemail. And then when I called again, she told me I had the wrong number. And I didn't have the right number. So that was weird to me.
I mean, because I remember the bruise on his shoulder, his right
And
shoulder.
I was fine.
You were not a scratch, not a bruise, not a nothing.
I was so fragile at that point in life. How does that happen?
You were just lucky to not drown.
I need to talk to this guy. I have a lead and I need to see if it's him. Because he'll know how he got us out, what we were like in the car.
You've been a busy girl.
It was clear talking to my mom that she was more interested in what happened with Siege and I than what actually happened on the day of the accident. After setting up a time to meet with Draper, I thought I was going to get everything I was looking for from the day of the accident.
So I would have got there at 9 minutes after the accident was reported, and at that time there were already bystanders. I believe that Sean Kerr and another gentleman were already out in the creek recovering you and your brother and sister.
They were in the water when you
Oh
got
yeah,
there.
oh yeah. Yeah, they were already getting you guys out.
Did you talk to them at all? Do you remember talking to them?
I'm sure I did, yeah. But there may be a case file on this as well,
Really? Is there a way I could get my hands on that?
if I can find it. And a lot of times they'll have the state patrol do it's called a TI or a technical investigation. And I'm guessing they probably had one of those do a technical investigation for that accident. So the Iowa State Patrol, Post 12, may have reports on this as well.
Okay, so they would be another person to contact Iowa State Patrol?
I would contact them,
Possibly?
yeah.
Okay.
And again, if the Iowa State Patrol did a TI investigation, then they would have photos as well.
Okay.
And I'm not sure.
Because I wondered if there was anything in my dad's system because he is the one who ran the stop sign.
Correct.
Yeah?
Yeah. And my understanding was that they were engaged in an argument.
Oh, that's what it
Is what caused the apparently just a distraction that caused him to go through the stop sign. No.
Do you remember anything? What do you remember?
That's basically about it.
Draper also explained that the technical investigation would give me an autopsy, photographs, and a complete layout sketch of the accident. Hi, Tammy. I am looking for a technical investigation file, and actually an officer told me to contact you guys and hope that you guys would have that for me.
I think I have all that. I sent that information to Trooper Lundgren this morning. Let me give you his office number. Yeah, give Trooper Lundgren a call. I actually scanned that stuff into him this morning and sent that information to him. So if you want to give him a call, he should have what you need, Jennifer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes. Bye. Yay! She gave me a number. They never give out numbers. They're so picky. Woo! Should we call him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. She did it this morning. Things are falling into place. Look at me. I'm like shaking now. Look at this. Ah. Okay. Ready? Holy shitballs.
State Patrol, Trooper Lundgren, may I help you?
Hi, Trooper Lundgren. I got your number from Iowa State Patrol office. She said that she had sent you some information about me and a case file that I was looking for. My name's Jennifer Jones.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I have a case report. We did a technical investigation, which we have a big file, which is surprising that the trooper that did the investigation still had it, luckily for the most. But I do have some information.
Wonderful. Yes, I would love to have all of that if that's possible, and I have my birth certificate and everything just to prove who I am if you need that.
No, I don't need that. That's fine. That's fine anyway.
Okay, perfect. Would I be able to come and pick that up today?
Yeah, you sure can.
Awesome. Well, we are going to head out of Muscatine in just probably the next hour or so, and I would love to swing by and pick that up if that is possible. Oh my god! They have the case file! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh, I don't even know how to explain my excitement right now. Woo! Okay, so let's go get the car changed, and we're gonna drive to Des Moines. He's in Des Moines. How perfect is that? I can't breathe right now, and I'm gonna be smiling for the next like 3 hours. Woo! Okay, you ready? Let's go. I'm so excited. They have the case file. Holy shit! I can't breathe. Don't laugh at me. Woo! Am I crying? My eyes are watering. All right. Oh my god. I'm so freaking excited. Okay. How do we get out of here? Can I go this way? After visiting with Draper, I decided to stop in Iowa City and visit my mom at work. While visiting my mom at work, I got a text message from an unknown number that said, "This is Sean Kerr. Is now a good time to call?" Oh, perfect. Yeah, if you're free to talk tonight, I would love to do it. Or Skype. Do you have Skype? I don't know if you've got that. Yeah, that would be awesome if we could set that up tonight and just kind of talk about how things went and go over that. And if you've got the name of that other guy who helped you, that would be awesome too. Yeah, that would be wonderful. My mom wants to talk to you really quick if you're okay with that.
Hi, Sean. My name is Darlene. I have wanted for 20 years to tell you thank you. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know where to find you, but for... Well, I don't know, but I don't know about that, but I'm just so thankful that you pulled her out of that car and that she's okay, and she has truly been the most exceptional, wonderful daughter for almost 21 years, and I can't imagine my life without her. And I wouldn't have her at all if it wasn't for you, and I just thank you so much for doing that.
We are headed to the Technical Investigation Building, which is off part of the State Patrol building, but it's very impossible to find. We've been all over the place. Weird. The Following our conclusions that were arrived after evaluating all the facts and findings from this accident, George, the operator of the Toyota, was southbound, blah, 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 blah. For some unknown reason, failed to stop at the posted stop sign and pulled into the path of the westbound car. It doesn't say where my mom was sitting, but it does say George was the driver, and my sister was right front, which means my mom has to have been sitting in the back. The accident was south of Moscow by Highway 6. Upon arriving at the scene, I saw a red car lying on its roof in the south ditch facing its northerly direction. The car had heavy damage to the front end. The second car I saw was a smaller silver car. The operator of the red Chevy was taken to Muscatine Hospital along with the 3 children and female adult passenger from the Toyota. That's my mom. The male driver from the Toyota was taken to the University Hospital in Iowa City. Visibility 15 miles, winds from the west at 22, gusting 31 miles per hour. Prior to impact, there were no skid marks from the other car either. Nobody tried to stop. The speedometer was taken out of the Chevy. When the speedometer was taken out of the vehicle, the needle was stuck on 64 miles per hour. He was speeding. No roadway effects. Oh my god, this makes no sense. There were rumble strips there. The following distances were obtained by measuring from the stop sign. How did you not feel that? The westbound Chevy did have its low beam lights on. It appears that the high beams were not on. The seatbelts were in working order in the Chevy. The driver's belt was retracted into the holder at the time of examination. The driver's seatbelt in the Toyota was jammed between the seat and the door, still in a non-use position. It could not have been in use at the time of the accident. The right front passenger's side seat and shoulder belts were cut, and the clasp was still hooked into the buckle. The right front, so Elizabeth was strapped in. The right rear seat belt was cut, and the clasp was still hooked into the buckle. There was a car seat found at the scene, and the belts on the seat were also cut. Cut me out of my car seat. Nobody was drinking. Everybody's blood count was 0. The seat belt for that seat was in working order, but it is not known if it was used. Sandra Peterson, operator of the Chevy, was westbound on Highway 6. From the statement given by the witness, she had no time to take any evasive action. Contact was made between the 2 cars in the lane of Highway 6. This shows that the westbound Chevy was in the proper lane of travel when the contact was made. The driver of the southbound Toyota should have been able to see the approaching lights. What the f***? That did not give me what I thought it was going to give me. Well, Elizabeth was sitting here, and she was buckled. Which would make sense. When they busted the window, they got Siege and Elizabeth out first. I was in the middle of the car, so when the car was on its side, yeah, I would have been hanging from the ceiling as it was rotating. My mom and my dad were sitting like this. How the hell do you fight like that? Fight like this? Do you seriously not look at the road? There was rumble strips. How do you miss the rumble strips? Oh! This didn't answer any questions! Frick. Well, I'll call the Stockton guy. That's okay. We still got a ton of good information today. Like, my hero's gonna Skype me tonight. One of my heroes. We still gotta find the other one. Ready?
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
There you go.
There we are.
Wow, it's really nice to finally see you in person, kind of.
This is the first Skype I've ever done.
Oh, so well, this is...
My wife is helping me.
Oh, perfect.
This is my son.
Hi. What's your name?
You say Caden?
Hi, Caden. I'm Jenny. I thought it was just you because on my, I have the accident report. I talked to the cop on the scene, and the accident report just says your name as a witness.
Yeah, we sat in his car for a very long time, and he eventually asked me what time the accident happened, and I told him it was like 30 minutes before that, and he explained to me that he had been on the scene for at least 2 hours, and I was in complete shock.
So, I guess just start from the top. What all do you remember?
I was only half mile from home. I was living on the side road off of the Cedar River Bridge, and it just happened right in front of me. I don't have a lot extra to give, but it just happened. I could tell that the car was not going to stop, and the cross traffic was going to be a collision. And when the collision happened, the car, it literally flew next to my truck and off the bridge, and I was the only one there. So I got out and just went to, I can't remember if I checked. I think I checked on the other driver first because it was a car that was visible.
Yep.
And then I walked down into the creek afterwards and checked on you. I went down and I checked on both vehicles, and I went back to my truck, and I had a bucket of tools in the back, and I knew I needed to shatter the window to get people out. And that's when the second person showed up.
Uh-huh.
And I told them what happened, and they kind of asked what we could do, and I told them that we needed to break the window, and we grabbed a pipe wrench out of the back of my truck and went back down into the creek. And he kind of took command from there. He was definitely, I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And he was an older person, and he took command from there. And I think the newspaper report said that I shattered the window, but I really think he did. I think he broke the window.
Okay.
And I was standing behind him, and he handed the children to me.
Okay.
As soon as I carried you children to the side of the creek, there was people there by then to take you up to the side of the road. And from there, it was, it wasn't, it just seemed like a blur. It just happened so fast.
Yeah.
The police, of course, were there right away, and they actually landed a helicopter on the road I don't know if they airlifted your mom or if they just tried right there.
Yeah, they airlifted my dad out of there.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know they airlifted one, and then, they pulled the car out of the creek, and there was still a person inside. And I assumed it was your dad, but it must have been your mom.
It was my mom, yeah.
Then they did everything they could. I remember, They tried. They tried so hard. They knew, but they still tried. And I remembered them. They just, as if it just happened. They tried their hardest. So, and it was getting dark by then, and I was still sitting in the police car, and they that's when they were questioning me about what had happened, and I gave my best description. He said he'd come back the next day. So I was only 20, and it was just something that I'd never seen before. That's all I can really describe it as.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you are the reason I am here today, so that's amazing to me, and I was really, really glad when you texted me. Oh.
And I don't think, I think you would have been fine. I would hope you would have been fine. I'm just glad I was there.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure.
It was such a turning point in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just every little thing from that point on, you look back and you just cherish every moment.
Oh,
I'm glad that you're doing well.
Yeah, well, I have you to thank for that. During my Skype meeting with Sean, he informed me that I needed to talk to Mark in order to get all the details of the rescue.
Who are we calling?
Mark
Mark what?
Vanderveer. You found his name and number.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has
Do I
not
leave a
been set
voicemail?
up yet. Goodbye.
I made a phone call to the Des Moines Public Library to see if they had the article about the 3 heroes that pulled us from the car.
Des Moines Public Library, can I help you?
Hi, I am looking for an article that was in the Des Moines Register on June 23rd, 1994.
Okay. Down at the Central Library here, we would have those articles on microfilm.
Okay.
Which you could, when we could help you get it set up onto the microfilm reader, and then to print the article is 25 cents a page.
Well, should we go do it at some point?
Yeah.
I'll have this full article about these guys. I went to the public library and asked to search through their old archives, and unfortunately they didn't have the article I was looking for. But when I informed the librarian of my story, he was more than willing to help us try and find Vanderveer. And with a quick online database search, he pulled up a number and I gave it a call. Try that. Should I try and call this number?
Mm-hmm.
Right now? Let's go over here. 6-4. This is like it.
Hello.
Hi, is this Mark Vanderveer?
It's Mark.
Hi, Mark. You don't know me. My name's Jennifer Jones. I'm looking for a Vanderveer that was involved in a rescue of a car accident in 1994. Is that you?
Now, say that again a little bit slower. I'm a little bit hard to hear.
I'm looking for a Mark Vanderveer that rescued some kids from a car in 1994.
That would be me.
Hi, Mark. I'm Jennifer Jones, and I was actually one of the kids inside the car that you rescued.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I've been looking for you. I'm so glad I found you.
Where do you live now?
I'm in Des Moines, actually. Where are you located?
I live in Clear Lake, Iowa. Straight north here on 35.
Clear Lake, Iowa.
About 20 miles south of the Minnesota border.
Wow. I wonder how far that is from Des Moines.
It's about 2 hours.
2 hours. I would love the chance to sit down and talk with you about that day if that was a possibility.
Sure. But we're going to wait till the weather gets a little better, right?
I mean, I would gladly drive to where you're at.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my God. Oh my God. We found him. Holy shit. I can't believe that was the right number. Okay, so library stop was a success. We found him. Ah! I'm so excited. Hero number 2 found. Okay, just called Iowa State Patrol to see if Trooper James sent over the packet of the investigative study. So that would be pictures, measurements, and other documentation that they took directly from the scene. And it came in today, so we're gonna go get it. Yay!
The car ends up on the driver's side and it's in water.
Right.
And there's photographs that shows that.
Okay.
They're not in the photographs.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you that there.
Okay.
So they were gone before Trooper James got there.
Okay.
Sent to the hospital, that is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
And this is an autopsy or examiner, medical examiner's report.
From my dad?
On your dad.
Oh, perfect.
And this here is a report that Trooper James had received from us, his copy of the report, which you got in the first few pages.
The brakes were fine.
Brakes are fine.
Oh my gosh.
Brakes are fine. So What they did say is your dad drowned.
Right. And he was helicopter lifted out too.
Mhm.
So would he have been still alive when they pulled him out of the car then for them
Yeah.
to do that?
Right, right,
Okay.
yeah.
He had THC in his
He had
system.
marijuana in his system. Yes, I'm not
Sure.
gonna try to tell you that I really don't know what that really means, honestly, so. That part, I just saw that just now anyway, so. Puts everything together for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. I'm just sorry that you have to go through all this anyway.
That's okay. It's a long time coming. I'm sure. I'm just glad it's happening now, so that everything is still available.
Right.
Mhm.
So, he said you can have it there anyway.
Thank you so much. This was exactly what I needed.
Okay.
I've been waiting for it.
All right.
It was really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Thank
too.
thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
I drove to Clear Lake, Iowa to meet Mark and his wife Ellen and see what they recalled from the day of the accident.
Kind of farm people, so this is kind of farmy, you
Sure.
know.
I grew up on a mini farm.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what this is, too. Okay.
Hi.
Look how big she grew.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm probably a lot bigger than from when you last saw me. Yeah, what do you remember from it? Anything? So you lived right down the road. I actually have.
Probably no more than a block, I don't think. Somebody come to the house and said, call 911 or call an ambulance or.
Said there'd been an accident in the
Yeah.
corner, and yeah.
So I told her that she needed to call 911 or an ambulance, and then I jumped in my pickup and headed down there. Well, when I got there, the elderly lady that was your parents hit, her car had rolled and flipped, and she was upside down, and she was hollering and yelling, but I asked her if she was hurt, and she was more concerned. She said, "No, I just want out of here." Well, she was still in the seatbelt upside down, and I could hear a lot of crying in the car that was and she wasn't in the water. I could hear a lot of crying in the car that was in the water, and I told her to hang on, somebody be with her, and so I headed for the car. When I got there, it was probably, the dash would have been underwater. They would have been probably that much of the top cars upside down, remember, by that much of it, not in the water. So everything in there was pretty much underwater, including both of your sisters.
Me and.
No, you weren't underwater. You were flipped upside down. Somehow you were flipped around in the car seat, and you were about 3/4 underwater. Well, I got the front door open, and I believe it was your oldest sister. She was down, way down in there, and I'm kind of reaching around, and boy, she came up out of there. She put a lock on me. She had her little arms around me and legs around me, and there was still a lot of screaming, and at the same time, the lady upside down was doing plenty of screaming, and got the seat belt or the restraining belt that was holding you, lowered you down out of there, and carried you up to the same car that the people had your sister in there. Then there was quite a bit of nervous waiting. By then, there was several cars pulled up along there, and highway patrolmen, and I could see your mother's probably about this much of her leg and ankle there, and I pulled on her a little bit, and she wouldn't. It was like she was lodged in there or something. I was afraid to pull too hard, and ask for help, and I think everybody was reluctant to get too involved.
For some reason, and I've done so much research, I don't know why he ran the stop sign. He grew up in the area.
Well, I think he was sleeping. I think he fell asleep.
That could have been.
I know. During the whole thing, I never did see him. I thought maybe with the water making it a little bit buoyant, we could kind of roll it over.
But April 15th was always stuck in my mind.
Sure.
April 15th. It was so traumatic.
Oh yeah, I can't.
It wasn't good for me.
When I found out that there was people that pulled us out of the car, I was like, I have to meet them because you saved my life, and that's amazing to me. They took my dad in the helicopter.
Okay.
Because he was still alive when they pulled him out of the car. He was still.
You're
He was
kidding.
still alive when they pulled him out of the car. But he died on the way to the hospital. Only you and Sean got in the water. That just amazes me.
That's why I actually had to leave. And Highway 6 is such a busy highway that
There were numerous accidents down there at that corner.
I'll tell you what, Jennifer,
When
that
she
hit
got
was
hit.
such an impact. Everybody in there but you were just thrown. And maybe your brother, if he had a seatbelt on.
He did. He just had a seatbelt, which
They were
amazes me.
thrown
20 months.
all over that car.
Yeah, it was the best.
It wouldn't have surprised me if your mother would have went up clear in the front and then ended up clear in the back.
And we thought about that too. We wondered because she wasn't in a seatbelt either. So I wonder if that is what happened. Okay, I wasn't sure. Yep, April 15th, 94. You know, that date will now forever stick in my mind too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know when it was before, but
You know, there are some things as you go through life that, that happen that you just always remember. That's kind of like, and that's one of them. That's just, you can just...
changes your life.
Yeah, it does. It makes such a big impact.
Well, and I guess I would have probably, there's a lot of times when I thought about you kids, but from what I heard, you were with your grandparents, and I was assuming you were okay, and,
Well,
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't want to dig up anything that was, I didn't know any of your family. So,
Right.
yeah.
Which is amazing. But yeah, that's exactly what Sean said too. I'm amazed at you both. You are, without a doubt, my hero. I was seconds away from death, so okay, turn it off now. Going into this, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really have a plan. So it was really interesting to see how things progressed over the course of the investigation, and I'm really, really happy that I went through with it, because not only did I find out the truth about the accident, but I also got to meet the incredible people that were involved and the other side of my family, and all these questions that I grew up asking myself, I finally was able to find answers to, and I think that was the most rewarding part of the whole experience. Well, I definitely have, like I said, a lot of closure on the whole situation. It was an awesome learning experience just to know that, your past isn't something you have to be afraid of. Talking to Sean and Mark especially, I think it gave them closure, because they said that they thought about us kids and they wondered where we ended up, and they lost contact with anybody who had information about us. And so, yeah, I think that definitely changed their lives too, just knowing that, we turned out okay. All three of us did. We turned out really, really well, and we're healthy and we're happy and we're living good lives, and I think that's something that they always wondered. And not only that, changing their lives to the fact that they saved ours. That was an eye-opener for me too, just to know that one decision to jump in a river and check on a car saved 3 lives. You should never be afraid to help when you see something wrong, because you never know who it will affect or how you can change an entire situation. My definition of a hero is someone who is fearless in a situation that they may be helpless in. So no matter what situation you may be put in, if you have an opportunity to help and you take it, I think that makes you a hero, because some people don't even have that courage to put themselves in the situation and to try and make a difference. And in my eyes, if you take that chance, even if you can't help at all, that makes you a hero. My favorite part about the whole experience was definitely meeting Mark and Ellen, just because I know that there's something that I will take away from this besides it's a great story, or it's something I can share with my kids, or people further down the line related to me. It's so much more than just finding out what happened. It was finding the reason that I'm still alive today, and meeting Mark and meeting Ellen and meeting Sean, and knowing that if they hadn't have done what they did, I wouldn't be here today. And that, to me, to be able to have a relationship with those people is what I really took away from this, and that's the most amazing part, I think, about this whole thing. I would like to thank Junior Reyes and Christina Cantante for reaching out to me and
you know, having the courage to contact me initially. And then I would also like to thank everyone along the way that helped, you know, Officer Draper, Trooper Lundgren, and everybody at the Iowa State Patrol office who were more than willing to give me a number or pass my information along. I want to thank Sean Kerr especially for calling me back. I know that was a scary phone call for you to make, and having the courage to meet with me on Skype. And I want to thank Mark and Ellen Vanderveer because they were so wonderful in setting up a time to meet with me and giving me all the information, and then of course wanting to keep a relationship with me afterwards. And then I would like to thank John Bria for traveling with me on this whole investigation. Honestly, I could not have done it without you. You were my mind, my mental stillness that I needed to keep my sanity, and also helping me piece everything together. And my mom. My mom is always my strong point, my rock. I know this was hard for you to watch me do, but I still love you. You're still my mom.